Rock just continues to add layers upon layers to this new 2024 heel persona that so many of us are falling in love with. From his sudden heel turn where he slapped the ever-living Stardust out of Cody Rhodes, to his new Versace wardrobe, to him acknowledging Roman Reigns, to his new electrifying entrance, and now his new remixed entrance theme, this version of The Rock continues to evolve week over week. But I do understand the complaint that some people have when they say that The Rock is entirely overshadowing the Night 2 main event between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. And of course, if The Rock wants to be involved with something, anything, he will inevitably become the focal point of that thing. After all, he is one of the most recognizable human beings on this planet. But there is a case to be made that The Rock is taking up too much of the spotlight, to the point that the Night 2 main event between one of the longest reigning champions in WWE history, Roman Reigns, versus a two-time back-to-back Royal Rumble winner and face of the company, Cody Rhodes, is feeling less special than it probably ought to. And with WrestleMania 40 getting closer and closer, we're in danger of the Night 2 main event getting little to no build and hype between the two men that are actually stepping into the ring to close the show. So let's talk about it. As always, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know that you're going to absolutely fall in love with this YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. We're also super close to reaching 200,000 subscribers, and I never thought that I would reach that number, let alone doing it in less than a year of posting YouTube videos. But now that I'm so close to 200,000 subscribers, I would really love to reach that mark before the Night 1 WrestleMania show starts. So if you have any wrestling friends, I would really appreciate it if you would spread the word. The most recent episode of SmackDown had a lot to talk about, from The Rock's hilarious concert to the US triple threat match that was announced and more. Now, I did do a review of that full episode that you can find over on Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZap. Over there, I post my reviews of shows like Raw, SmackDown. You also get the Wrestling is Cool podcast 3 days earlier than everyone else, and more. So in this video, I am going to be touching on some of the elements from the most recent episode of SmackDown, but if you want the full review of the show, that's on Patreon, and you can find it in the top link in the description or the link in the pinned comment. With Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble, this set up a Night 2 WrestleMania main event rematch between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Now, the build to this main event has been nothing if not completely out of the norm of traditional WWE WrestleMania main event buildups. Because as of the making of this video, there are only 3 episodes of SmackDown before WrestleMania weekend kicks off. And even though there are only 3 weeks of TV left to help build hype between Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes in the Night 2 main event, there have been a total of 0, count them, 0 segments dedicated to just Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. And what I mean by that is just like a promo segment involving those two and those two alone. Frankly, the closest thing that we've gotten to that is when Cody actually won the Royal Rumble and pointed and screamed at Roman, "You, I want you." Because you can't count the February 26th edition of Raw where Heyman and Cody Rhodes had a segment together, because in that segment, Heyman wasn't even representing Roman Reigns, he was representing, you guessed it, The Rock. And you can't even count the February 2nd episode of SmackDown, because that one-on-one encounter that Cody and Roman had wasn't even designed to build up hype for Cody versus Roman. It was in fact meant to do the complete opposite and remove Cody Rhodes from the equation altogether to introduce The Rock as Roman's new WrestleMania challenger. And we all know how that went, because that was it right there. That was the moment that changed the trajectory of this entire storyline as you know it. You know how the tale goes. Cody Rhodes gets cucked and gives his spot to The Rock. The "We Want Cody" movement starts on social media. Cody says, "Nah, just kidding. I do want Roman Reigns." And then he gets bitch slapped by The Rock, which then in turn gives us the Night 1 main event tag team match between The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Congratulations, you're all caught up on the storyline. But ever since the fire started at that WrestleMania press conference, all the way back in February 8th, there have been 0 attempts to build any direct hype for the Night 2 main event between Cody and Roman. Instead, all of the tender love and care and what you would expect from a WrestleMania main event buildup has gone to the Night 1 WrestleMania main event. So much so that a non-seasoned WWE fan might mistakenly believe that in reality, it's the tag team match that's main eventing the show. In fact, I'm gonna take this one step even further by saying that not only has the Night 1 main event taken all of the shine during this road to WrestleMania, but The Rock as an individual has taken just way too much shine. But this time, he isn't stealing the shine from Cody Rhodes. No, in fact, I would say that Cody Rhodes has gotten hotter and hotter because of the detour that this feud has taken. But instead, the majority of the shine that The Rock is stealing is actually from his tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Because even though The Rock did in fact acknowledge his tribal chief, Roman Reigns, Roman has felt like a Robin to Batman, like a Patrick Star to SpongeBob, like a Dwight Schrute to a Michael Scott in The Office. Roman hasn't felt like The Rock's tribal chief, he's felt like the tribal sidekick. In every single segment with The Rock and Roman Reigns, The Rock completely dominates any sort of mic time and is the one that is responsible for actually driving the narrative forward in this storyline. Anytime that they're both in the ring, it's The Rock taking about 90% of the available mic time, while Roman Reigns has pretty much just been relegated to only saying his catchphrases and the occasional additive to add to whatever The Rock just said. Another aspect of Roman's character that has always been beloved and heralded by fans in the past is his aura, but even that's been upstaged because this unbeatable God mode feeling that he exudes whenever he makes an appearance on screen is being upstaged by The Rock's aura. Because now even Roman's aura is being upstaged by The Rock's repackaging aura, which includes that Versace attire, the amazing new entrance, and even that new remix theme song from his 2003 Hollywood Rock days. All of the shine, all of the glitz, all of the glamour that would traditionally be afforded to the contestants main eventing WrestleMania has actually all been given to The Rock. And I do understand the why behind this, of course. The Rock needed repackaging after his heel turn in new direction that his character was forced to take after all of the loud and proud Cody crybabies around the world made their voices heard. But all of this time and energy that is being spent on The Rock means that by default, the focus on Roman Reigns has been put aside largely, which is absolutely insane to think about when he's closing your biggest show in 3 weeks. Hell, even though The Rock acknowledged Roman Reigns, it still feels like Roman isn't the leader of his own group. I mean, how could he be the leader when the guy that acknowledged him is running around on Instagram calling himself the final boss? If Roman were the true tribal chief, he would be the final boss. That's all I'm trying to say. The point that I'm trying to make is that The Rock being next to Roman Reigns, taking up all of the buzz and all of the mic time and eating up all of the aura in the arena is making Roman Reigns feel less special as a singles competitor going into WrestleMania 40, especially when you compare him to how special he felt going into last year's WrestleMania. So one of the two men that's supposed to anchor this Night 2 main event, that being Roman Reigns, has been effectively nerfed, which really does impact the hype levels that this match is able to reach. The ceiling for this match in terms of hype is much lower this time around for Cody Roman 2 than it was for last year's initial Cody Roman 1. Now, earlier in this video, I did mention that Cody Rhodes continues to get hotter and hotter because of the path that this storyline has been forced to take. Whether that path change was intentional or unintentional, frankly, at this point, it just doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is that Cody Rhodes is hot and the majority of fans are fully behind him. And that's great. At least 50% of the individuals main eventing Night 2 are going into it with a lot of hype and a lot of momentum. Unfortunately, I'm of the belief that that hype and this momentum for Cody Rhodes is directed somewhere else. It's designed to lead us to a Rock versus Cody Rhodes match eventually down the line. Just think about it. Look at all of the most talked about segments during this road to WrestleMania and who they've involved. It was Cody Rhodes that gave away his spot to The Rock that sparked the whole "We Want Cody" movement. It was The Rock that bitch slapped Cody Rhodes, and that was the most talked about segment event of the entire WrestleMania press conference. It was Cody challenging The Rock, which sparked this night one main event tag team match. When Roman, Rock, Seth, and Cody were all in the ring, it was Cody that slapped The Rock. And in that same episode, it ended with The Rock and Cody Rhodes staring each other down, with Roman Reigns firmly in the background. You can even look at The Rock's recent concert. The best bits were when The Rock was roasting Cody Rhodes. And in typical Rock fashion, it took him 30 years to tell us about how he was gonna give a bloody belt with Cody's blood to Mama Rhodes. Mama Rhodes, The Rock is gonna give you a gift. He's gonna give you this belt, and The Rock is gonna do something with this belt, and The Rock is gonna tell you what he's gonna do with this belt. Mama Rhodes, The Rock is gonna take this belt and he's gonna hit Cody Rhodes with it. And after he's done hitting Cody Rhodes with the belt, the very same belt that The Rock just showed you, he's gonna smear his blood. And then The Rock is gonna take that belt that he just showed you, that he used to beat Cody with, to smear his blood, and he's gonna give it to you. And he's gonna give this belt to you, Mama. Shut up, Rock. Just get to the point, Rock. Heck, even all of The Rock's Instagram promos at this point are pretty much all directed towards, you guessed it, Cody Rhodes. So again, to a non-seasoned WWE fan, they might mistakenly believe that the main event of night 2 is actually Cody Rhodes versus The Rock, not Roman Reigns. And even though Cody Rhodes is walking into that night 2 main event with plenty of hype, it's not hype that's helping serve and build the scheduled main event match that he has with Roman Reigns. Somehow the WWE has managed to do a better job of building up an imaginary, non-announced potential future matchup between Cody Rhodes and The Rock, more so than their actual schedule announced night 2 main event between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. If this is starting to sound a little bit familiar to something they've done in the past, I'm not surprised, because this is actually the exact same formula that they used during the road to WrestleMania 27, when the scheduled main event was John Cena versus The Miz, but the feud that WWE cared about and built throughout that entire road to WrestleMania wasn't John Cena versus The Miz, it was John Cena versus The Rock, which basically just relegated The Miz as a third wheel participant in his own WrestleMania main event match. And yeah, it's obviously an over-exaggeration to compare Roman Reigns to The Miz, but you can't deny that at the very least it's a similar formula that was used back in 2011. And with The Rock saying that the night 2 main event will be Bloodline Rules in the event that Team Cody were to lose the night 1 main event, it's very likely that Bloodline Rules will allow The Rock to once again take even more shine away from Roman Reigns during the actual night 2 main event match, just like how The Rock involved himself in the Cena versus Miz main event match. So we have an ice cold champion in Roman Reigns with no road to WrestleMania hype, and a Cody Rhodes who has hype but for a match that isn't likely to happen until further and deeper into the future versus The Rock, which ultimately equals no hype for the main event of night 2. Now, although there is cause for concern, there are still 3 full weeks of WWE programming left to help build this feud between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. It doesn't really need a heck of a whole lot of pushing either to get us excited for this match. The stakes are already huge. The star power of Roman and Cody Rhodes is already bright, and it's a climax point in a 4-year storyline involving the bloodline. So there is still plenty to get excited about. I just hope that the WWE at the very least puts in a little bit of effort to help build this, because right now I fear that the night 2 main event is simply going to be a setup point for WrestleMania 41, just like how the main event of WrestleMania 27 was basically just a setup point for WrestleMania 28. All right, folks, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this entire situation, but I am done, and get out of here.